Alright, so first and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We're going to talk about the Day of the Dead, a.k.a. with the so-called Aztecs, which is the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexicans. They call it the Dia de los Muertos. So Dia de los Muertos is basically what they honor the dead, right? So we're going to go through a brief history. It's not going to be long. It's going to be quick and right to the point. So a brief history of why they call it the Day of the Dead and how this ancient tradition grew as a global holiday. Because it's not just Mexicans that celebrate it. You have other so-called Latinos that actually do this too. You got Simeon that does it. You got Ephraim do it too. And it all goes into brujeria, witchcraft, and all the other nonsense that we shouldn't be dealing with, right? Like witchcraft and all of that. And talking to the dead and spirits and dressing up like Halloween. Because it's basically... it ties literally to Halloween. It's a Spanish custom which came from the Edomites anyway, right? So, you gonna read it. Read that. So basically it's gonna be in the website, right? We're going to history.com, right? And the topic is Day of the Dead, right? Go ahead.
Day of the Dead, how ancient traditions grew into a global holiday. What began as ceremonies practiced by the ancient Aztecs evolved into a holiday recognized far beyond the borders of Mexico.
So it's an Aztec tradition. Azteca, Yashashakar, right? It started off as ceremonies that was practiced by the so-called Mexicans. And when you see them how they dress like skeletons and stuff, which is basically dead people, right? And the Most High, he's not dealing with, he's not the God of the dead, he's the God of the living, right? If you want to pull the precept out, you can. Okay, come. So read on with that.
The Day of the Dead, or Dia de Muerto, is an ever-evolving holiday that traces its earliest roots to the Aztec people in what is now central Mexico.
Right, central Mexico. So there's Mexico, you got New Mexico. It even went stretched far, because in the beginning it said that it went beyond the borders of Mexico. And we know that basically Mexico is also California. California is also part of Mexico. But until the Edomites came, they basically eliminated that. And now they say, oh, Mexico is not Cali. Technically, yes, it's still a part of it, right? But it basically what did it say? Yeah, keep reading that actually. Yeah. Keep reading in there.
The Aztecs used skulls to honor the dead.
They use skulls to honor the dead. When you look at skeletons or skulls, it represents death. Right? Most are not dealing with that. Right? Go ahead.
The Aztecs used skulls to honor the dead a millennium before the Day of the Dead celebrations emerged. Skulls.
So it's basically like Hallows Eve, like Halloween, Hallows Eve. The Eve right before they honor that Day of the Dead, they do it right beforehand. Go ahead.
Skulls, like the ones placed on Aztec temples, remain a key symbol in a tradition that has continued for more than 6 centuries in the annual celebration to honor and commune with those who have passed on.
Hey, Yahweh should I say, let the dead bury the dead, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yo, leave all that stuff behind and follow me. You so-called Mexicans that still want to follow after that tradition, the Most High is not dealing with that, man. Right? You're following after something it's dead. It's a stupid tradition anyway. You know what I mean? Like, yo, they passed on, they're in the afterlife. So, you know what I'm saying? The scriptures say mourn for 7 days, not mourn for a whole goddamn lifetime. Right? They've passed on. Right? So this tradition is basically the same thing as we read in the Halloween tradition. It's just the Halloween is an Edomite thing, and now I understand why. We see why the similarities, and when you see a lot of Northern Kingdom, they dress up as like these ghouls and goblins and death, basically. A lot of them, like I have family on my mother's side that's Simeon, and they like to do the same exact thing, dress up with skeletons and do all of that, right? They like to, they basically just like to mock the Most High. This is mockery. When you're doing all this thing about death, you're basically mocking Yahweh, right? You got a precept?
I don't fully got it yet, though.
Give me Galatians 6 and 7. Keep reading on it.
Once the Spanish conquered the Aztec Empire.
What it say?
Once the Spanish conquered the Aztec Empire in the 16th century,
Read on.
the Catholic Church moved indigenous celebrations and rituals
Mhm.
honoring the dead throughout the year to the Catholic dates,
Mhm.
commemorating All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day on November 1st and 2nd.
That's see. So it's a Spanish tradition, which means what? This is the Edomites that brought this custom over to us, which they had it, which basically come from the Celtics, and that's all. That's all Halloween. So basically, it's all this indoctrination that came upon the Aztec, that came upon the so-called Mexican. So they took it just like, oh, it's like an adoption. The custom, you say a custom, you adopted it and you made it your own thing now, right? But it's in the 16th century, and it's a Catholic church. And we not, you know, the Most High is not dealing with no Catholic church,
That's
right? The Most High not dealing with none of you Catholic. If you want to be a Catholic, you're basically dealing with death.
That's right.
And you're sacrificing your children. When you dress up your children, you're giving them up to idols. You're giving them up to Baal.
That same day you're talking about, right? The Catholics in Haiti, right? The Catholics and the voodoo people, they're celebrating that day together.
Oh, the Levites doing it too?
I put that video in the chat.
See that? And that's all symbolic, because and a lot of times when you see voodoo, when they put the paint on them and everything, I've seen it where they have the glow in the dark paint and they have the lights off and stuff, and they look like skeletons, right? Especially, you know what I'm saying, like they got the dark skin, or they got dark skin already. And a lot of time when you see like when Issachar dress up with skeleton stuff, everything's painted black, and then they have everything that's all like the skeleton is all white, and some of them use glow in the dark paint. Right, and all of that that's all wickedness, right? Go ahead, read on. Oh wait, hold on. So like, go ahead, read.
Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
So these people were deceived. The Mexicans, they were deceived by the Spanish, by these Edomites, man. Shalom, man. Keep reading that.
For whatsoever a man sow,
Right.
that shall he also reap.
So you reaping what you sow, man, right? And you basically are dabbling with this Day of the Dead thing, right? And Most High's not dealing with that to begin with. You're not supposed to be enchanted. You're not supposed to be calling on dead spirits, calling on dead spirits, talking to crystal balls and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And when you see that, when you look at Dia de los Muertos, you see people they have crystal balls and stuff. You want to be a witch on that day. You want to be a witch. You shouldn't be wanting to be a witch any day. And you know, like the brother was saying, the Levites, they doing the same thing, right? And you got Levites in Mexico, and they honored this. So Issachar was not just Issachar that was indoctrinated. You have other Northern Kingdom, and you have Levites. You Levites that was indoctrinated with this too, right? What you got?
I had a precept.
Go ahead.
Let me just find this. This is 1 Samuel 28 and verse 7. Then and this is just to show like this ain't nothing new. Israel been wicked and retarded. So this verse 7. Then says Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit.
So familiar spirit, right? Most are not dealing with that. After that, get Deuteronomy 18 and 10. In the NIRV. Yeah, come, read on.
That I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor.
So he's basically inquiring, like, let me deal with this enchanter. Let me deal with this witch. Go ahead.
And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And notice, like, whenever people trying to deal with this dark stuff or death and all of that, they going at that's always at nighttime.
Right, because it's symbolic. Like when you look at Halloween, the origin of Halloween, everything symbolizes death and darkness. That's why they call it the dark day of winter, where winter's now starting. Right, go ahead.
And they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine. He's calling her divine.
Right, a divine one. And we know the divine one is basically Yahweh is the divine one. You calling on this witch as a divine one, right? Go ahead.
Unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. So
right. Go ahead, break it down.
Like basically, like he's like the same thing. Issachar and all the Northern Kingdom was doing with the Dia de los Muertos.
Day of the Dead, yeah.
Day of the Dead. Like they want to call on these familiar spirits, people who already died, and they want to talk to them. They want to bridge the gap between the world of the dead and this world. You know, supposed to.
Right.
And that's pretty much.
Yeah,
the
that's it
point.
on that. Now get Deuteronomy. On so to touch back on so they said is called, they call it All Saints Day, but who are the saints though? According to the scriptures, the saints is the Israelites. Yashar Allah, right? And it says it's called All Souls Day, right? What scriptures that said don't honor the dead?
Scripture says Most High is not the God of the dead.
Yeah.
Luke
What
9.
verse is that? Luke 9? Yeah, before you get that first.
I got precept.
Go ahead.
Though it's going to touch on that because it says that they honor the children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I was gonna get to.
Oh,
Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
A precept for that.
All right, so look, so finish reading that. Finish where it says that. Read the next part. After November 1st and 2nd, and November 1st, also going to Halloween, they used to have the Edomites' New Year. The Catholic Church, their New Year was November 1st, which then became December 31st, which is Halloween. And notice every time Halloween, when for the whole month, you got Halloween movies, slasher films, horror films, everything that has to do with killing and death. They uplift it. All the women want to be whores and witches and warlocks now, right? Everybody want to be. Now everybody want to show off and be. I want to be something different, right? She has somebody. There was a woman that wanted to be a damn. She said she went out with a lingerie, talking about this is my Halloween costume. You crazy? That should be for your man to see, but that's not. You know what I'm saying? That's all wickedness. So this is basically a day of death, and literally, if you like, even with that. Women that want to go out looking like a whore, you're asking to be destroyed. That's death. That's why this day symbolizes around nothing but death. Keep reading.
In what became known as Dia de Muertos,
Right, Day of the Dead. Go ahead.
November 2nd.
Right, so it went from October 31st. No, it went from November 1st to October 31st. Now going back to November 2nd. So they're doing it like it's a 2-day thing. So they party on. Right, go ahead.
The Latin American indigenous traditions.
So it ain't just the Mexicans. It's known as Latin America. Right, go ahead.
And symbols to honor the dead fused with non-official Catholic practices and notions of an afterlife.
So they basically took Catholic practices and then they made it like their own. So they said, oh, it's not Catholic no more. Now it's our tradition.
Right.
But it originated from the Catholic Church. Go ahead.
The same happened on November 1st to honor children who had died.
So they had November 2nd and November 1st was to honor the dead children. Now read that. And then you get your precept. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a few precepts.
No. Get what I told you to get.
Oh, yeah, which one?
Don't let the Most High is not the God of the dead.
Luke 9.
Read.
And where was I?
After he
Verse
reads
60.
his, again you can read your other ones.
Yahweh said unto him, let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
Right, that's not what I wanted.
And Luke 20 and
that.
38. For he is not a God of
But that's
the
also
dead.
good too. Let the dead bury the dead, man. They passed on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Scriptures tell you mourn for 7 days. After that, live your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, your life is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a duty, you have a task at your hand. You got to keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be honoring the dead. Now read that.
For Luke 20 and 38. For he is not a God of the dead,
right,
but of the living.
Remember, the Most High said the God of the living, not the dead. How you going to praise God when you're dead? You can't. It's impossible to praise the Lord when you're in your casket. You don't even pray. Thank you, God. You can't do anything. Your body's a corpse. And on top of that, imagine this. Imagine if, because the angel's the one who buried Moses. Imagine if people knew where Moses was. They will honor his body. They will literally honor Moses. And Moses is gone. You can't honor. That's why you can't find no bones. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? Let Moses live on, bro. Go ahead.
There's Jude 1 and 9. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. Right,
there you go. Yeah, where's the body of Moses at? You don't need to know that. Most High buried him. That's it. It's gone. Let the dead bury the dead. Read that.
John chapter 5 verse 44 in the NLT. No wonder you can't believe, like you said, you can't believe because you still hold up on the traditions of the Catholic Church, right? No wonder you can't believe, for you gladly honor each other. So you got these, Aztecs, these Sicarii honoring their children after they die. See what I'm saying? Well, yeah, that's
and they honor their kids, and that's a beautiful precept too. And it's more. Yeah. Keep going.
But you don't care about the honor that comes from the one who alone is Yahweh.
Right. Right. So y'all honoring the dead, but what about Yahweh? You took a whole day to honor your dead folks, but what about Yahweh? And it's not different because you even got Judites that do that too. Yo, pour this up for the dead homies, yo.
Right.
It's the same shit.
Salakia, for people saying that Judites, like the main ones is really Levi, and the main ones is really like Levi, Benjamin, and Simeon, and y'all tribe. Judah be doing it because we be saying, oh, we African, and when you go into that Hamite culture, the African culture, East and Southern Africa, the Africans we want to identify with, they heavy on that. And the speaking to the ancestors.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
Right.
And doing the sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah. They even eat the dead.
Yeah, they do that and talking to our ancestors, who we think is our ancestors, is really not.
It's like because the Most High sent spirits that's like their spirits. What's that? Sirach 39 and 28.
Oh,
there be spirits out here. Matter of fact, get that. Spirits out here for vengeance. Sirach 39 and 28, right? But watch this, right? Because you have Issachar, because you got Issachar that they said that they honor the dead kids, right? But so like what happened now? Raquad. Nah, he good.
Oh, okay.
He good. So look, right? Salakia.
I got it.
Okay, come, hold that. Issachar be honoring their dead children, but then Issachar was the main one sacrificing their kids. They was killing them, literally giving them up. And now you gonna honor the dead? Oh well, he died. We have to honor his. You killed them. You burn them alive. They take their hearts out, and they, you know what I'm saying? You go to. I wouldn't put it past my mind if they still doing this. That tradition, that's wicked. You're killing your children, right? Give me that precept.
Which one?
Sirach.
Sirach 39 and 28.
Go ahead.
There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Right, vengeance. Right. So you people that want to honor the dead, and people be saying, "Oh, I was talking to my grandmother, and she came to me, and she was wilding." Like, yeah, it's the spirits out here created for vengeance, man. The Most High is sending these torments to you, man. Some people can't even sleep. Go ahead.
One thing too, people be talking about they seeking their ancestors, right? Like scriptures say our fathers have sinned. You feel me? So like us seeking our ancestors, we're not going to learn the truth from them because they sin.
Right, exactly.
So like we just gonna learn more sin from them.
Right.
And we know, and we know, because we know that some of these people probably are talking to our ancestors, because Saul, yeah, they do, because Saul, who did he bring up? Was that Samuel? He was trying to bring up Samuel, and he did. Samuel was like, "Yo, my nigga, I was resting. You bring me out."
And they do that like in Haiti, raising the dead.
Yeah, if you could find that verse, you could bring it out too.
So we know that it's not impossible to talk to your ancestors. Okay, cool, you found something spiritual crazy out, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily expedient and good for you.
Right.
Just because something seems cool, or just because you found some type of spirituality, doesn't mean that it's conducive and prosperous for your soul or your spirit. Because there's spiritual goodness and there's spiritual wickedness.
Right.
But I have to precept you on.
Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 18 and 10 to 12 in the NIRV, New International Reader's Version.
Go ahead.
Here are things you must not do. Don't sacrifice your children in the fire to other gods.
That's what you see Issachar do. And it's not just Issachar. I'm not coming at Issachar, because you got Judah that does it too. You got the Northern Kingdom. Ephraim do it.
All that.
Yeah, Manasseh do it too. You know what I'm saying? They do all of that. Yeah, they get the Ruba tribe. Yeah, them niggas do it heavy, man. They crazy. Talking about sacrificing your kid. Go ahead.
Don't practice any kind of evil magic.
That's evil, man. All that stuff, all this brujeria, that witchcraft, that's evil magic. You know what I'm saying? That David Blaine, and what's the name? I know David Blaine is one of them. Chris Angel. Yeah. That's all black magic, man.
I used to watch this.
Yeah, I used to watch it too. People really, he's floating. Like, yo.
Nigga walk the water.
Right.
You know that shit?
People love bugging out, man. Hey, and it's false, because like the scriptures say, that's, you know what I'm saying, it's like, yo, how is he doing that? You know what I'm saying? That's science falsely, because science obviously means to know, but it's also like if you was looking in the science perspective, it's like, is that even possible? Like, how are you really doing that? The math don't work. It's not adding up. You know what I mean? It's like, that's supernatural. But God says what? Read it again.
It says, don't practice any kind of evil magic.
And that's
at
what
all.
these magicians they do. They practice evil magic, right? Go ahead.
Don't use magic to try to explain the meaning of warnings in the sky or of any other sign.
And that's what you see, like psychics, quote unquote, that they try to tell you, like, this is what's gonna happen, and then you're gonna have a cyclops come out of the sky. Like, all right, you bugging out. Read.
Don't take part in worshiping evil powers.
Don't take part in worshiping. That's self-explanatory. Come on.
Don't put a spell on anyone.
And you see that people do that. You got a lot of these witches that be putting spells on. I seen a post where, oh my God, this is a new thing. I never seen it before. She said it was like, ladies, your man will never leave you. She was pouring hot tea in her panties through her panties to get into a cup, so that her man would drink it.
You see that?
So that way, that's ridiculous. Oh, so your man never leave you. You know what I'm talking about? That's retarded.
I know another one. It's like you get a jar, it's wicked. You on your period, you get your tampon, you put it in the jar, you put a picture of the nigga, you lit up a candle. Yo, it's all you lit a candle top of the jar. It's all, bro.
It's a lot of things too. There's one where this woman put her monthly cycle in her rice and made her man eat it. And he supposedly fell in love, right? Go ahead.
That's
wild, yo.
And a couple of months ago, when we was in Times Square, and we were doing there was the Colombian parade or the Colombian gathering.
I want you to read the next
After
one.
camp, like, I mean, I don't know the whole thing, but I know some people were lighting candles and stuff for the dead, like for the dead Colombians or whatever, so-called Colombians, tribe of Asher. They were lighting candles for them. But I saw some people, were having candles and somebody was dancing in the middle. Like, they was doing all types of crazy stuff. So I don't know if that's witchcraft they was doing, but it looked like
it all takes form in that, because we're gonna read that in the next part, which is funny that you actually said that. Read on. So you got something?
No, it was really idolatry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's a worshiping of the God. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Don't put a spell on anyone.
Come on.
Don't get messages from those who have died.
Right, and that's what they do in the Aztec community, but the Aztec traditions, what they say, they talk to the dead, right? And it's not just Aztecs. You got Mayans and Incas that did it too. But they all formed. It's like an alliance, and they all had the same thing. They had the same thought process. Oh, if they're going off, we should all go off, everybody. Right? Go ahead.
Don't get advice from the dead.
Right, and what do people do all the time? I gotta talk to my dead grandmother. She gonna give me some advice. I gotta talk to my uncle who passed off 2 days ago. Right. You bugging, right? Yeah, my ancestors are gonna give me the knowledge I seek. No, you need the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's right. You need the Most High, you need Yahweh, and have faith in Yahushai. That's the main thing you really need in, walking in life. You need to really, you so-called Issacharites, you so-called Mexicans who are really the tribe of Issachar, need to come back to following the true God, right? You don't need to be sacrificing the false deities. Come back to Yahweh, right? And read on that.
I had a point. Priest bring out a good point. When people be talking to their ancestors, like it says in Lamentations, our fathers have sinned and they are not. So like, let's say you do successfully get to talk to your great grandfather, whatever. Nigga, they was wicked as hell. So they gonna tell you, hey man, that pork man.
Hey, this how I did it.
this how I did it. Yeah, right.
You take a toad and you lick the toad, and then go ahead.
Verse 12. Yahweh, your power, hates it when anyone does these things.
That's it on that. So see, the Most High hates it, man. He hates these things, and you're wicked as hell if you continue in this wickedness. Now read the next part. Hold on. We're gonna keep reading. I want to finish it. Go ahead.
In these ceremonies, people built altars in their homes with offrendas, offering to their loved to their loved ones' souls.
Right? What? Read that part again. The whole thing.
In these ceremonies, people built altars.
They
in
built
their
altars.
homes.
They built altars, right? That's what they did. They was building altars in their homes, right? Go ahead.
with ofrendas.
Now let's look up that word ofrendas real quick, right? Watch this. Hold on one second. You got it already?
One with the word man.
Yeah, I got it.
I just quick searched.
It's all good. Right? Ofrenda is an ofrenda is an offering placed in a home altar during an annual and traditionally is an annual, and it also says traditionally Mexican Dia de Muertos celebration. An ofrenda, which may be quite large and elaborate, is usually created by the family members of a person who has died and is intended to welcome the deceased to the altar setting. So basically, you're calling upon the dead to raise them up, to call back their spirit, to talk to them.
Seance.
Yeah, seance, and basically it looks something like this. And where do you see this at? In the Catholic Church. You see it in the Catholic Church all the time. Get on your knees and start praying to this damn devil, right? And they look, traditions and foods and all of that. And to them, it's a law. It became a big tradition for them. And they do it annually. Think about every Sunday at the Catholic Church. This is an every Sunday thing. Go ahead. What you got to say, Benji?
It's like growing up as a kid, man. My mom's side of the family.
Oh my God,
They
the
did
next
that
part is
stuff,
cool.
man. They had the altar. They had the altar in the house. Like my mom, she had the altar in the house. My mom's brother, they big on that stuff, and they would got drums beating and dancing, and then they're calling names of certain spirits, and they're saying that these are the spirits that is possessing them and all these things.
Right.
I don't know if my mom still do it. I mean, I talk with her over the phone and tell her to stop, but I don't know if she still do it. But that's the practice they did.
Come on.
Yeah, that sound like your root, but they be with the drums,
the
they call
drums,
them
yeah.
spirits and
Yeah.
shit. They hop on you, and then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really work. Bro.
I mean, you know, when you look at see these things there's exorcism in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The word exorcism is even in the book of Acts. It says that. You know what I'm saying? So we was been performing exorcism, but what they was doing, they was just putting, instead of sacando the spirit, taking up it was just putting spirits on them. Like, yo, I'm gonna just get a whole bunch of demons on me.
Yeah, so like one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me one time that she don't do it for bad, she do it for good. But the scriptures say don't do it, period, man.
Yeah, don't do it.
It's not
man.
okay, well, we're not doing bad, we're doing good now, man.
That's what they say
It's
for
not good.
Halloween.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, it's for the
Yeah.
kids. But like we read earlier, you're literally sacrificing your kid to false deities, man. And Yahweh say, no, God's with me, man. He's not dealing with that. And really, you guys have strong delusion. And you're going to get destroyed. Right? Keep reading that. Watch this part, the next part. Candle lights, right?
Candlelight photos of the deceased and items left behind.
So they light candles. They have, you see it all the time when somebody passes away. They light candles up. Their photos there, right? And they put small items, right, for them. But why are you putting those items there? They're not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
They got their image on these shirts.
On the shirt, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Walking
Judah
around
do
with
that all the time, bro.
Put it on the chain.
We're reading. This is their tradition that come from a Catholic custom. And this is all the things that they've done. You're gonna we all gonna get. I'm saying this is things that we need to stay away from. Don't follow what they're doing, because if this all from Catholicism, who run the Catholic Church? The Edomite do, right? So you're basically following Edomite tradition. Keep reading.
Families read letters and poems and tell anecdotes and jokes about the dead.
This is hold up. I don't even want to talk about dead people.
They gathering around, eating,
And when you see this in campfires, you see that in campfires, Native Indians, they talk about what they do, ghost stories, telling jokes about like the boogeyman's coming, You know what I'm saying? Like, and what happens? One day you might see Jason Voorhees in the damn wilderness. I'm not saying he exists. I'm just saying, look, Most High said, like we read earlier in Sirach, Most High gonna send spirits on you. He might kill you, man. It was saying some guy with a hockey mask might come on. It ain't Jason. It's probably some dude named Babu or so. I don't know. You know.
Spirits really gonna come. You know
So spirits gonna come on that nigga. You gonna shoot him. You gonna shoot him 7 times, and he's still walking to you like, yeah, but them bloods ain't doing nothing. Man, you know what I'm saying? It's a demon, man. And you see that when you watch the movie Halloween, they done stabbed him. Everything possible you could do to a guy. You know what I'm saying? Yet they didn't cut his head off though. Now the last movie, yeah, they took about the old one they did. But you know what I'm saying? They took a pitchfork, put it in him. The nigga still got up and was like, "Yo, what's up? I'm good, bro. What's
and that's
up?"
Why they worship these the dead, because they see them as immortal, as they just can't die.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying. They had
I like it too. But like I tell y'all, I was raised around this stuff, you know, because my mom and they were doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And what I learned from it is like when these demons are on them, they say spirit, but it's actually demon. You know what I mean?
Right.
When these demons are on them and they're dancing and doing whatever, they don't know what they're doing. Right. And when they maybe the demon maybe leave them, but if you try to tell them like you was doing this and you was doing that, they don't even know that they were doing all this.
Right, amnesia, man. Yeah.
Basically, they was in a sunken place.
Right. And it's like the Christian church too. They be doing all that. I got the Holy Spirit. No, you got a demon on you, a legion on you. You got a legion of demons. What's your name? Legion. Yeah, come out. Go ahead, read on.
Offerings of tamales, chiles, water, tequila, and pan de muerto, and specific bread for the occasion.
They got dead bread.
Dead bread.
Dead bread. Yo, what are y'all doing?
they made a bread named after the
How you got a bread named a dead bread? Go ahead. Hey, dead bread is also symbolic money. Dead presidents, that's money. That's basically you're holding what we call money, bread. You're holding dead bread. That's dead waste.
You eat this, they gonna start talking to you.
Sight.
You know what I'm saying?
Conjuring spirits, man.
Right.
Go ahead, read on.
Are lined up by bright orange or yellow kimpashucho flowers.
It's a type of flower, right?
Marigolds, whose strong scent helps guide the soul's home.
And what we usually light up is incense. But look, this is the same thing. Remember that story when they went to the temple and the Most High wiped them out because they lit up the wrong incense?
Right.
It's the same thing. You put this in the temple, the Most High gonna kill you for doing so. That's why the laws are so strong, man.
It's like, hey, I'm sorry to be butting in all the time, but as you
No,
talk,
you're good,
man,
Ken. Go ahead.
As you speak, I'm remembering these things, right? Because my mom used to send me to pick a certain type of flower and bring for her.
Hey, see
She
what I'm saying?
Of roses and stuff, like specific ones.
Right.
So as you speak, I'm remembering these things, man.
Hey, see, so brothers have been through this, man. We've seen experience, so we know that
I've seen a lot of stuff.
And Guyana is in Latin America, so this is a Latin American culture. It's a Latin American tradition that started from the Aztec, which they adopted from the Roman Catholics. Whose strong scent and soul guide the souls from. Yeah, so they basically took the scent, so that way the spirits can smell it. But we know that the Most High, this is basically the opposite of the Most High. The Most High tells us, yo, light, you know what I'm saying, light a certain scent in my temple, or when the aroma, what's that with the sweet savor, the sweet savor of the smell of the meats that we offer to him. But this is telling you that we offer something totally different. It's a strange fire. That's why the Most High killed them for lighting strange fire. And it's like the same thing when you like to take every time you light that blunt, that's a strange fire going to the Most High. That's why a lot of people, they dying. That's people. Yo, there's a recent study that the most time people now smoking all this weed, they're catching schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. All these things are happening because why? These things is not meant for you to put like that, right? But not to go off topic, because I could keep talking about all day. Keep reading. Wait, you got a precept, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 8:35. Those who find me because the scriptures say we gotta seek out of the book of the Most High. And read it.
Yeah.
We gotta seek the Most High. So it says, those who find me. So if you're actually truthfully and sincerely looking for God, it says, those who find me find life.
Right.
So you'll find life. You'll find what the truth is. You'll find your eyes will be open, such as ours have been. Like we see the truth, and the Lord will be pleased with them. So the Lord's pleased with you in doing that.
Right. The Lord gonna be pleased with you when you follow Him. But if you're not following Him, it's like it says in Revelation, you're walking dead. Literally, you're walking dead. And Ezekiel said the same thing. Yo, you got to preach to these dead, man. Preach to these bones that they could come alive. Right? And literally, Israel, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High said 2/3 got to get wiped out.
Yes.
That's why we have to, all we're doing is wake up the elect, and we could get out of this captivity. Because if you got people that still want to hold on to these traditions. And this is, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have that Babylonian mindset. You drunk off that wine, right? Go ahead.
Just, people that
That's what I needed. Go
people
ahead.
that hold on to these foreign customs, Zephaniah 1:8, the GT. On that day of slaughter, says Yahweh, I will punish the officials, the king's sons, and all who practice foreign customs. Right? That's a foreign custom. That is not our heritage or our culture. It has to do nothing with our God.
Right, ain't got nothing to do with it. Right, exactly. Remember I talked about incense. Watch that. Read that.
Copal incense.
What it say?
Copal incense.
So the wrong incense. You ain't supposed to be writing this. This is the incense that they do this to honor their dead. Right, go ahead.
Used for ceremonies back in ancient
And
times.
that's what they do in ancient time. Come on.
Is lit to draw in the spirits.
To draw in the spirits. That's what they be doing. Voodoo do it too. You got Haitians that do it. You got Manasseh that do it. Right? These people, Simeonites, y'all not low either. Y'all all do it too. You know what I'm saying? You got a brother, a Benjamite.
All the tribes.
Right? Yeah, all the tribe be doing it, man. But you know what I'm saying? Powerful Benjamin, he came from experience.
Hey, so like here,
Go ahead.
may the Most High have mercy on me, man, because I used to go for the food, bro. Like after they done doing all the stuff they're doing, they used to share food at the end.
Right.
So I used to go just for the food, which is
It's still wicked. Sacrifice to idols because they praying to these idols and
but I
the
didn't
food's
know,
offered.
better at that time.
Con.
I just used to go for the food.
Yo, Simeon, bro, this is what my grandma used to do, right? You got candles. She'll make like a circle of candles. You know the Dia de los Palos, right?
Yeah, I need to talk about it.
She'll get the incense, right? She put the incense around. It's like a ceremony. You can't just go straight to do it and talk on the spirits. It's a whole ritual.
It's a seance.
You gotta start saying stuff, and then she goes to her little room. She comes out, her little robe. She gotta put on that garment. You know what I'm saying? She goes,
they wear a different certain
You know what
garment.
I'm saying? Like the priest, they gotta wear a certain. You know what I'm saying? So she puts on this robe or whatever. The incense all around, and then she got a little bottle, and so she starts spraying, and then the people just start jumping, right? But there's the thing, the spirit cannot only go on one person at a time. So once it goes on you, you gotta literally smell it, and then you start shaking, and then you start. The shorty, I had a video on my phone. Shorty did like she landed on her shoulder, boom, and started shaking, doing all, and she, dancing, and then after like 5 minutes, the spirit will leave. And then you tell her, you remember what happened? She's like, nah. And they'll find out like, yo, bro, like they have more. Yeah. I'm rejuvenated. Like this spirit came on me because I'm a saint. You know what I'm saying? God is dealing with me because this spirit came on me. That's how they think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fake ass God.
Right. They drain.
Huh?
When they leave them, they drain.
Yeah, they drain. They
tired.
But they put you.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 8:19 NLT. Someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead with their whisperers and murderings. They will tell us what to do. I'm saying, going back to people seeking the dead, their ancestors, to know what to do. The same people that cause you to be in the position you are, you're going to seek them to ask them what you have to do, right? They're going to lead you astray, right?
Yeah, appreciate it.
And it says, they will tell us what to do, but shouldn't people ask God for guidance?
Right.
Should the living seek guidance from the dead?
Right.
Look to God's instruction and teaching. People who contradict His word are completely in the dark. Right? And Christ said, darkness shall be chosen rather than light. You understand? Right? People in this world, they choosing darkness over light.
Right.
A lot of people know this is the darkness. Dealing with the dead is dark, right? But people would rather deal with it because of the way it make them feel, right? And it says, they will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And because they are hungry, they will rage and curse their king and their God. They will look up to heaven. Right? So that was the point right there. People seeking darkness and seeking the dead for instruction on what to do in life. I'm saying the people that are dead, they're not going to know what's going on in life. Right? What Ecclesiastes say, the dead don't know nothing.
Right.
Let me get that real quick, right? Ecclesiastes 9, verse 5. For the living know that they should die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more of reward. For the memory of them is forgotten. Understand? So the dead don't even know nothing. Right? So in your living, you know what's up. The dead is not gonna know what's going on in life. You understand?
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, that's why, like, if you know, like, if you know someone that's near and dear close to you, don't wait till they're dead to give them their flowers.
Right.
Give it to them while they're alive. They can smell it and feel like they feel good about it. You know what I mean? When they dead, they ain't gonna. Here's some flowers.
Fake love.
That's basically fake love. And everybody
give you love when you die.
Yeah,
It's facts. You know what
all
I'm
of a
saying?
sudden everybody know you. The whole hood know you. Oh, that was that nigga. That was nigga. Yeah, you wasn't.
Somebody kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? This is we not for that life anyway, man. That's why, you know what I'm saying? We I'll be the first one. Nobody here is shit. We ain't nobody here. All right, we give all praise and glory to go to Yahweh. We do so by Hashem Yahushai. We ain't nothing. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Even the scriptures say, "Let another man glorify." Right? We're not here to brag and boast and say, "Oh, well, we chosen." Like we don't do that, and we dare not ever make ourselves a part of that number. Right? Read on. We're almost done with this.
Clay molded sugar skulls are painted and decorated with feathers,
See, more skulls, more death symbolism. Go ahead.
foil, and icing, with the name of the deceased written across the forehead.
Basically showing you that this is the symbolic. They show that this is the skull of that deceased one. Right? Go ahead.
Altars include all four elements of life.
Right. So this is the same thing. Like this is the same. This is basically, and then how they wear their priestly garment. They take that from the Levitical law. It's the same thing. The Levites were that priest when they went into the temple, and they're doing the same exact tradition. Why? Because the Roman Catholics stole the same. They stole it from us. All this tradition. Because what do the Roman Catholics use? They use the Bible, and they pray to what? Lucifer. And Lucifer, which means just a light bearer, but their Lucifer is themselves. They praise that. They honor themselves. They said we're God.
So like, you're talking about the priestly garment, they tie their head and everything up too, man.
Yeah, they wear the turban and all of that.
And the book of Ezekiel that speak about when the Mosai told him to make the symbol to besiege the city and stuff. They use stuff like that to do whatever they're doing.
Right.
Like if they want to do something to somebody, they do like a template of it. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
And they'll pray over it or whatever.
Right, yeah, because like you see that all the time, like there's the damn poop. You know what I mean? The Pope. He you know what I'm saying? You never really see him in his regular clothes, but because the way he's dressed, people see like, because that's symbolic, it's power. It's like, yo, like, oh, that symbolism, like, yo, he's dressed so holy. So he could do whatever the hell he wants to do. That's why when you see all these priests and everything, these Catholic priests, you give me your children, I'll take care of them. They wouldn't even go. They would, you know, they want to really do to your kids, man. Right? They want to. There's some pedophiles, man. Yo, over 250,000 have been a lot of Catholic churches have been accused for pedophilia. Why nobody going in there and bombarding it? You're still going to the Catholic. Oh well, I know. Despite of what has happened in the past, my priest, he's repented. Man, ain't no, nah, bro. You touched man like, come on, man. You've been touching mad little boys and girls, and you still out here being a priest. That's
They just burn it down.
yeah. Burn the whole church down, man. I have yet to see one real Catholic person that's going into the church and saying, "Hey, what are y'all doing in here, man?" You know they got dungeons. You know they got undergrounds in the churches too. They got basements. I've seen it. They said, "Where you going? Hey, you can't go there, boy." Yeah, bro. Even in the Christian, they do it in the Christian church. Same thing. What's the difference?
Don't they call it like the father's quarters or the pastor's quarters? Or
Yeah,
something
basically, it's where the pastor goes and they do the little thing down there. Like, oh, that's forbidden doors. Yeah, I bet.
That's like the holy section or something.
The unholy of unholies.
Right.
Right, the unholy of unholies, man. That's probably where they do their seance and all of that, man. They take the little kids and they drain their bloods. Their blood, right? The adrenochrome. I said bloods. It's a lot. Go ahead.
Altars include all 4 elements of life.
Mm-hmm. Life.
Water.
This is what they said. They said this is what they get. Life. Right. Go ahead.
Water,
Mm-hmm.
the food for earth,
And then you need all this. This is what gives you life. Come on.
the candle for fire,
Mm-hmm.
and for wind, papel picado,
Mm-hmm.
colorful tissue,
Mm-hmm.
paper folk art
Mm-hmm.
with cut-out designs to stream across the altar or the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Some families also include a Christian crucifix or an image of the Virgin of Guadalupe,
Right. Keep going.
Mexico's patron saint, in the altar.
Right. So get a picture of the Virgin of Guadalupe, and everybody know the Christian crucifix is. So it's funny how the Catholics are using a Christian thing. Why? Because the Christian church come from the Catholic religion. It's all the same thing. They play. Why do you think they both have Cesare Borgia in the church? Right? Look what the Virgin of Guadalupe is. Watch this.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was supposedly Mary. I be seeing this in the bodegas.
It is.
Everywhere.
It's the
Everybody,
same.
I mean, I know everywhere, but
It's-
I
Every
mainly.
Northern Kingdom got that
See-
candle in their house.
See,
right
our
now,
late
lit
look.
up.
Nah.
This whole
With the
Guadalupe
Bible.
thing is basically the same thing as honoring virgin birth of the Virgin Mary. It's the same thing. So even in, I'm not gonna get into that, but basically, you're basically saying because in the seances of like the Hail Marys. Correct me if I'm wrong. They honor Mary. They call Mary the Mother of God.
Well,
Right? And look, they say Madre de Dios. That means you're saying that she's the mother of Yahweh. How can you be the mother of Yahweh when Yahweh made you?
Because they believe that, Yahweh Shai is God.
Right, yeah, but even so, you're telling me that God has a mom.
right.
That doesn't make no sense. Go ahead.
But even when you read on, it says Our Lady of Guadalupe, also known as the Virgin of Guadalupe, is a Catholic title of Mary,
Right.
Mother of
Right.
Jesus.
See, that's what I'm saying. So that's Mary.
That's
It's
what
the same
that's
thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
Right.
thing. They'll be like, no, that's Santa Maria, that's Guadalupe. No, come on, bro, it's the same thing. Stop. You're playing games. That's off. You're worshiping this image. And what does the scripture say about graven images? You're not supposed to have no graven image. No other gods before me. Talk about, the 10 Commandments. You can't even recite the 10 Commandments. Right? Go ahead, Art.
In Mexico, families clean the graves at cemeteries, preparing for the spirit to come.
You go to the grave to clean it. So, we gotta clean the grave. So when the spirit come back, like movie Andrea, the dude took the crucifix and that dude went, wait, where they at? Where they at? The spirit came out of nowhere, but like, I'm about to do some shit. Go ahead.
On the night
you know
of the-
the movie Andrea? Oh my God. You're Simeon, huh? You gotta get that movie, bro. One day we gonna watch it. Go ahead. Yeah, we gonna watch it. Go ahead. I done seen it like 8 times. Great movie. Go ahead.
On the night of November 2nd,
Mhm.
they take food to the cemetery to attract the spirits.
What the hell is the spirit gonna eat food?
Bro.
Yo,
You see what I'm saying, bro?
Bring anything back from my
Hey, memory, right? Go ahead.
my little brother, right?
Uh-huh.
His dad, right? When he used to be my stepdad, Yoruba, right? Yeah. We had these santos. I came from, I was into all the types of bullshit.
Yeah, come.
But he will get these sculptures or these clay images from Cuba. They will ship them, and it will come to the United States. You get them, and we all each have our own. I think mine was called Demaya, right? And we will literally have to feed them, but they won't eat nothing, right? Mind you, when we have food, we gotta give like a percent of our share to the deity, so-called deity, right? And to reverence him. When there's no food in the crib, there's no snacks. Cause I used to give my snacks to the nigga. He won't eat this shit, of course. I'm like, alright, buddy, you don't need that real quick. You know what I'm saying? You're not eating this shit, but you know what I'm saying? That's how people, you know what I'm saying? We used to be in. Well, my people, you know, they still into that type of custom.
All right, keep reading then. Keep reading.
And they take the food to the cemetery to attract the spirits and to share in a community celebration.
Read on.
Bands perform and people dance to please the visiting souls.
Like what the brother said earlier, they had the, like you said, they got the candles, yeah, and they dance and all of that. That's wicked. Skip down to celebrating the dead becomes part of national culture. Skip that whole part with the journalists. That's all caca. We don't need that.
Celebrating the dead becomes part of the national culture. Honoring and communing with the dead continued throughout the turbulent 36 years that 50 governments ruled Mexico after it won its independence from Spain in 1821.
So it goes far back, right? Go ahead.
When the Mexican Liberal Party, led by Benito Juarez, won the War of Reform in December 1860, the separation of church and state prevailed, but Dia de Muertos remained a religious celebration for many in the rural heartland of Mexico.
Keep going.
Elsewhere, the holiday became more secular and popularized as part of the national culture.
How can this be your culture? Your culture is thus saith Yahweh, right? Go ahead.
Some started the holiday's traditions as a form of political commentary,
Come on.
like the funny epithets friends of the deceased told in their homes to honor them.
So they made funny stories about dead people? Okay. Read. You see that, right? Go ahead.
Some wrote calaveras literarias, skulls literature, short poems, and mock epithets.
So it's laughing, they make jokes, and they mocking them. Hey, look, we gonna mock. Listen, when we get to the kids, we gonna mock all the dead Edomites, man.
Yo, that's right.
We already mocking the Egyptians every time we have Passover. It's like, remember that? Remember Pharaoh? That nigga dead. Go ahead.
to mock living politicians or political criticism in the press.
So all this is just to be a mockery, man. And that's what it said. I remember the first scripture I brought out was, don't mock God. You mocking the Most High. All this is mockery. Right? All this stuff is just, it's all stupidity. Right? Anything else? Yeah, I don't really need all the other stuff. Basically, it's just, all this basically is yeah, you don't really need it. Wait, what's this? Matter of fact, yeah. You got a precept, right?
I do.
Go ahead. Before we get that part, read what you got. I was seeing that. I was like, should I bring it out? I don't know.
It was in the gym too. Let me get it. This is Galatians. Galatians.
Quick on that sword.
19. What human nature does is quite plain. It shows itself in immoral, filthy, and indecent in action.
It's disgusting. Right, go ahead.
In worship of idols and witchcraft.
Right, you're worshiping idols. You're doing witchcraft. The Most High said, destroy witches. Right, go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much it. But there's more. People become enemies and they fight. They become jealous, angry, and ambitious.
Why? Because the spirits is causing you to do these things. That's why they want to go against each other, right? Because what these things are, you're conjuring spirits and you're conjuring the dead, which makes you go and start fighting your own people. You go crazy. You go psychotic, right? Go ahead.
And watch this. Oh, I also wanted to bring out
Salakias. Before you bring that out, it also touched, because like I said, I was watching Halloween and the same thing. Michael Myers killed his entire family except for his baby sister. Why? Because of spirits. When you watch Halloween 6, which is a retarded ass movie, talk about the curse. Remember that thing when he had the tattoo on his arm? Talking about it's a curse, the curse of the wicked, something like that. Some wickedness.
Witch's curse.
Yeah, some witch curse. Talk about they choose, and mind you, they were in the basement with a bunch of druids, the Celts, one bunch of druids, and chose a child to be the killer. You're sacrificing your children. That's all you're doing. And what did he do? He wore costumes, wore a mask. He became the boogeyman, basically. But he literally killed his whole family. And when he came back to town just to get his sister. But along the way, anyone that stood in his way, he just destroyed them. Which also, this is a side note, remember, Yahweh Shai is also known as the Grim Reaper, Reaper of Souls, right? Also known as Death, right? What was mind you, and Yahweh Shai is immortal, he can't die. Michael Myers couldn't die. And what did he do? He came to reap some souls. He's like, I just came out to kill niggas. And Michael Myers was literally killing people that was doing wickedly. Most High was using Michael in that movie, bro. That's just the side thing, bro. We're going to do a little breakdown on Michael Myers, but go ahead.
But I bring this out to also tie into the fact because, you know, the custom came from the Roman Catholic Church, from the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, it came from the Celts. And the Romans, they conquered the Celtics.
Right,
and
right.
It was called Solwyn.
Mm-hmm.
Or Samhain, so basically,
which is Halloween today.
They would just lit like bonfires and try to bridge the gap between the world of the dead and the world of our world.
Same with this.
And they would go house to house, wearing garments,
costumes and stuff. Yeah,
and you know, doing seances and things, going house to house to find human sacrifices to put into this, you know, thing so that they could sacrifice.
So, and Salaka, they did the same thing. When you watch Friday the 13th, the very first movie. And then the second movie, the first movie, the killer was his mother. Mm-hmm. Then she dies. Yeah. And then you see the second movie when he's back. Where's his mom's head?
Oh, yeah.
On the altar with candles around it. Mm-hmm. And what did she say? She made a pact with with a demon so that her son would come back from the dead and never die.
Precept, oh my God.
Go ahead.
That's the spirit, Isaiah 28:15. Right? That our people made a covenant with what? Death.
Yeah.
You both say you have made a treaty with death and reach an agreement with the world of the dead, you are certain that disaster will spare you when it comes because you depend on lies and deceit to keep you safe.
Right, exactly.
That's the beautiful piece of that. Is cohesive with what you just said.
Right, and that's what his mother was doing. His mother made a seance so that way bring my kid back to life. And what he did, he came back, grew up, and killed me. A grotesque face, to be honest. Keep the mask on. But you know what I'm saying? Abomination already. His mom's an abomination, and then she literally made a pact with the devil. And when you watch Freddy versus Jason, he's like, "All right, Jason, your time is up." Yeah, remember that pact your mother made? Yeah, your time is. Now I gotta come get you now. You know what I mean? So it's like all this stuff is all wickedly, and this is what it all ties into. They all tie into death. Right? That's more on that?
Just a little bit.
Go ahead.
They separate into parties and groups. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing on Halloween, same thing back then. You know, trick-or-treating or going house to house to find sacrifices. And then this part goes into when the Romans adopted the custom, because, you know, the Romans were disgusting. Every single feast, holiday they had as a nation had to have some form of orgy or some form of sexual,
they had to do something sexual, yeah.
So this is verse 21.
Salat, trick or treat. You want a trick or you want a treat?
Right.
Trick, magic trick. God said stop practicing magic, and then you want these treats.
She could be some type of depravity, lecherous, sexual morality.
Right. It's a gift, and what does a gift do? It destroys your heart.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 21. They are envious, get drunk. They go on the, like I said, they separate into parties and groups. And they do idols and witchcraft.
Come on.
They're envious, get drunk, have orgies, and do other things like these. I warn you now, as I have before, those who do these things will not possess the kingdom of God.
Yeah, you're not gonna possess the kingdom. How you gonna possess? How you gonna do all these practices and still say I'm making it to the kingdom? You're not making it.
That's right.
Right. So let's finish this off. Skulls of protest.
Skulls of protest. Witnesses to blood.
Blood. Another thing that has to do with death is blood, man. And you know what I'm saying? Most High, what does He require when you Hebrews 9:22? All things of the law is purged with blood, but they want to do the blood sacrificed into idols. Right? Go ahead.
Over decades, celebrations honoring the dead, skulls and all, spread north into the rest of Mexico.
So it ain't just skulls; there's other symbolism that has to do with death too. Right? Go ahead.
And throughout much of the United States and abroad.
So it's not just the USA. Now it's spread it. It ain't just North America, South America, Central America. I wouldn't be surprised if it's all the way in Rome. Right? Go ahead.
Schools and museums from coast to coast exhibit altars and teach children how to cut up the colorful papel picado folk art to represent the wind helping souls make their way home.
Hey, look, any of these museums, my kids ain't going to them. Understand? And if we end up going, you don't teach my kids none of these things. Understand? Because they try to force these upon our kids. Because literally, the agenda of the Edomites is after your children. Because you go to the ones who is innocent, and when they get older, remember what Proverbs 22:6 say, right? Train up a child the way he should go and never depart. So they teach the kids all this homosexuality and all this. You got to be careful what you showing your kids. You go to these museums and stuff, they teaching your children how to do these certain things, man. Traditions of what? Men. Traditions of falsely, man. Right? That's when you go to Titus. When you go to Titus 1:14, it says, matter of fact, get it. Titus 1:14. Is there more in this?
It's Titus 1:14.
I don't need all that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We done. We're done with this. It's cool. All praise the Most High. Good. Read that.
Titus 1:14. Not giving heed to Jewish fables.
Jewish fables, right? So this is what it is, right? Jewish fables meaning what? It's Israelite stuff, but it ain't really Israelite stuff. Ish pertaining to, but not so much, right? Go ahead.
And commandments of men.
And it's commandments of men. So you're literally following the traditions of the Edomites, and you're not doing thus saith the Lord.
Right.
Right? You got something
I
else?
just want to make a quick point, right?
Go ahead.
We're not, and for the people, the audience watching this, right? We're not trying to down you and trivialize you or belittle you in any form of way, right? Because we came from, brothers came from that type of environment. You see what I'm saying? So I actually got a quick scripture, Titus chapter 3:3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful and hating one another.
Right.
So we came from, that background, but now it's time for what? To convert and walk righteously, blameless, right? And forget about the rudiments of this world, right? Forget about all these foreign customs. It has to do nothing with our heritage or our culture, right? Our culture is the same for Yahweh, like the brother brought out. See what I'm saying? God, it came.
Amos 5:15.
Go ahead.
Hate the evil,
Right.
and love the good.
Read it again.
Hate the evil
Mm-hmm.
and love the good.
See that? You gotta hate the evil and love the good. You can't be practicing Proverbs 28:4. You can't be practicing these wicked things, wicked deeds, and then you feel like, oh, the Most High gonna deal with me. I'm talking to these spirits, and they tell me that God's really with me. No, you're being deceived, right? So you gotta hate the evil and you gotta love the good. What's good? The commandments is good. The thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
Psalm 34:21.
Bring it up.
Evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate.
Right. Exactly.
So evil gonna slay the wicked. You wicked, the thing you doing is evil is gonna kill you.
Exactly.
And
Right.
Psalm 7:11 says the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. If you are into the El Día de la Muerte, God is going to be angry with you, and you're going to what? Die.
First
You see what I'm
Chronicles
saying?
22:12. See that? Yeah.
And
So
they go. One thing they always say, they're gonna say this whole thing is not satanic, it's not demonic. They're gonna say it's their culture,
right.
right? And they clearly, and they're gonna tell you they celebrate the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the Most High God is not the God of the dead.
Right.
So you're worshiping a different God. So therefore, that's how you know it's against the Most High God. You're going off.
But you know what's so funny? They always try to correlate stuff with the Bible. Like the Saint Mary. Well, they were trying to correlate it with the this other culture, but try to correlate it with the Bible, so they could think like, you know what, it's good in the eyes of the Most High. No, it's wicked.
Right, because
you feel me? Like,
because what they're really doing is that they're changing the truth of God into a lie. That's all they're really doing. So read this.
Proverbs 28:4.
Come on.
They that forsake the law praise the wicked.
You forsake the law. You praise the wicked. You praising these evil spirits, man. Read verse 9. Wait, no, that was it on that verse?
No, that's a little bit.
Keep reading.
But such as keep the law,
If you keep the law of Yahweh, right? Come on.
contend with them.
You contend with the Most High. He gonna deal with you. Read verse 9.
Verse 9.
Come on.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law,
If you turn away your ear from the law, meaning you stiff neck to Yahweh's words, right? Come on.
even his prayer shall be an abomination.
Your prayer ain't nothing, man. Your prayer is like, it's garbage, man. You know what I'm saying? You over here throwing up seances and Yahweh, listen, nah, I'm not dealing with you, bro. Most I look at the angels like, you hear something?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Read that.
First Chronicles 22 and 12.
Come on. Give me
Only-
Baruch 3 and 9.
Only the Lord, only Yahweh
Come on.
give thee wisdom.
Only Yahweh what?
Only Yahweh give thee wisdom.
No, the spirits give you wisdom, man.
Yahweh.
No, the demons do.
Yahweh.
Yahweh's the one that give you the wisdom, man. Right? Your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. Right? Come on.
And understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and give thee charge concerning Yasha'Allah.
Right. So the Most High gives you the charge concerning Israel. Read this.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 9.
Come on.
Hear Israel, the commandments of life.
Right. So you gotta hear the commandments of life, man. The commandments of the Lord is what gives you life. Read it again.
Baruch 3 and 9.
Come on.
Hear Israel,
Right.
the commandments of life,
Uh-huh.
give ear to understand wisdom.
Right. So you gotta hear Israel, man. You gotta hear these commandments. Give ear. Give ear. Read the last part again. Give ear to what?
Give ear to understand wisdom.
You gotta give ear to understand wisdom, man. It's all good. To give ear to understand this wisdom, man. So Israel, lay off the pagan traditions, right? Come back to your God. You got another precept?
But there was more.
Go ahead, read it.
And give thee charge concerning Israel, that thou mayest keep the law.
What? Keep the what?
Keep the law.
You gotta keep the law, Israel. Come on,
of Yahweh thy God.
right? Keep the law, Yahweh of Yahweh thy power, man. That's the only way to get out of these things, man. Right? So, give me one last one. Give me
This is a good information.
Matter of fact, go ahead, read that.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mhm.
shalt thou prosper.
Then you prosper because why? You keeping thus saith Yahweh. Read.
If thou takest heed to fulfill the statutes
Mhm.
and judgments
Mhm.
which Yahweh charged Moses with concerning Israel,
Right.
be strong and of a good courage.
Right.
Dread not,
Mhm.
nor be dismayed.
Right. Don't be dismayed, like that Yahweh says, man. Israel shall be saved. You don't have to be concerned. You don't have to be dreadful. You don't have to be a sad or anything. You know what I'm saying? The Most High said He's for you, man. Who could be against you?
That's right.
Right? So, all right. That basically concludes the lesson, man. Right? Unless your brother got another precept, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, Israel, shake off them cobwebs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Yeah, literally,
Because
man.
they messing with the dead in this.
Right, and you see all these spider webs and everything and all of that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Israel, lay off the paganism, right? And you hear that in the UK. Man, I don't mess with no pagans, man. Right? No pagans over here, man. Right? You lay off, yeah, right? lay off the paganism, man. Right? Paganism is what's gonna get you destroyed. Thus saith the Lord, man. Right? So with that, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and say Shalom.
Shalom.